with a half-time scoreline like that, unless we get the biggest fight back that Castleford have produced in recent times. We shall see.
Well, we saw it last week, Eddie, didn't it? It looked as though Hulkington Rovers were home and hose, and then they just dropped in a heap. You'd find it difficult to think that the Giants will do exactly that, but as you say, anything can happen in this game.
Well, when you think that Huddersfield were cellar dwellers 4 years in a row, 1998 to 2001, they have topped the Super League table before at the end of April last year. They eventually finished 4th in 2011, then they bowed out of the playoffs at Warrington, and then they lost the following week here against the eventual champions Leeds. But the early season signs are they're out there this year to give everyone a run for their money.
And I think it's worth making reference to perhaps a side like Widnes, Eddie, who would maybe have to take a 10-year plan. It's taken 10 years for Huddersfield to go from the bottom to the top, and they're no consistent performer. Here's another try.
It is, it's a hat-trick for Luke George, if the video referee Phil Bentham gives it. They're looking for a strip and how the ball came clear of the Castleford man. But it looks like a night now then, was it? Or has he just dropped it? I think he might have just dropped it. I'm going to say it might be a nightmare here for James Clare, the young man. Or is there a strip there?
Well, Kevin Brown lifts the right arm.
No, I think it's a loose carry.
Well, we'll see again. It's a good hit with the shoulder, but watch him lift the right arm.
I don't think he touches it though,
No,
Steve-o.
no, I think he's lifted the arm itself, and this will be a try and another hat-trick to Luke George. I think he's just lost control. You're right, Eddie.
And if it is given the green light, it will be the third hat-trick in his first 4 home appearances for the Huddersfield Giants. What a start,
Well, Clark,
to his career.
Well, David Fayumu, it was a good hit, wasn't it, there by Kevin Brown? I'm with you, Eddie. I think he goes for the arm rather than the ball. And this will be confirmation. Boy, they'll celebrate here, and why not? We said he was running hot. Oh, now he's white hot.
And this is going to be confirmation, I think, of his 9th try of the season. It is. George with a hat-trick of hat-tricks on this ground. They come in threes. What a start to his career. Formerly with Wakefield, he signed on the dotted line last August. His debut against Wigan in round 1, and he's just gone from strength to strength.
It was a dummy by Danny Brough to the blind side. Then he went to Oden, puts the kick through, and the impact from Brown, he touches the arm. David Fayumu presents him with yet another hat-trick, and a nightmare down this right-hand defence for the Tigers. In the first half, the Tigers missed 12 tackles, and 7 of them had come down that right-hand side.
Well, from the Tigers' point of view, it's a good job that Brough isn't quite on the money with his goal kicking. He's kicked some belters tonight, but he's missed a few as well. Here the hat-trick tries.
And boy, we said he was in very, very hot form. Look at the kick over the top. I mean, this guy is building in confidence. Such a huge man as well.
Well, we'll try and bring you the other 2. That was the first. Here he is in possession again as he goes down in the tackle eventually. Down he goes. He is number 2. That took some scoring.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot. Knew exactly what the kick was coming.
And here comes the third. We've just seen this. Big hit. Ball flipped out wide and an easy walk in. Here he is again. He's got a ton of support. Kevin Brown down that left-hand side. And it's an open gate as far as Castleford are concerned. And this, I'm afraid, could get a touch embarrassing. Kevin Brown with the try. Operating it loose forward here tonight. He missed the opening round against Wigan. He got a try last week. Standoff last year, of course. All at loose forward in 2012. And look at the support.
They're just blitzed down that right-hand defensive outfit. And they know it, do Huddersfield. They are just making sure that they are hurting and hurting. It was a gamble to put the young kid in, James Clare, and the inexperience certainly is shown there, but don't put all the blame on him. Some of the people around him, McGoldrick, he stands out there. In the first half, Brett Ferris, he was stood out there on that right-hand defence, and this guy, you just saw a quick glimpse of the skipper, Kevin Brown. He has been masterminding down that left-hand attack, and boy, Mr. George again makes the break. Brown finishes it off. Can this fella add the extras?
Well, he can this time. And 36-4. 2 quick tries, start of the second half.
I suppose what you want really is the man who gets the ball to have options. And there are 4 people here that he could pass the ball to. Sorry, 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside, 3, or he could run it himself. He found the right pass to George and then received it back on the inside. And it's what Huddersfield do particularly well. Give the man with the ball in his hands options on his inside and his out. Then the pressure is find the right pass.
Castleford have been done a couple of times down the short side tonight, and clearly there's just not enough communication. It may well be the fact of how they're setting up, because if you're short anyway, somebody must adjust. When the ball's played, everybody has to react to that, and Castleford tonight just haven't done it well enough. They've just all sort of sat around and probably looked at each other rather than reacting, communicating and doing something about it.
And it takes quality and skill to be able to do it on a very tight line side, and nearly every time they've made a break, it has been extremely tight. Defence should have been there, and it hasn't.
This time young Clare goes to ground as he's tackled by Fayumu. And Richard Owen trying to work the ball away for Castleford. It's incredible this, because when you remember what happened last year, Castleford won 2 of 3 against the Giants last year. 22-18 in July in the Challenge Cup and 18-12 at home. But since they appeared in the Cup semi-final, the round after they won against Huddersfield, against Leeds, they lost of course, and they've won just 2 of 10 prior to tonight. So the semi-final appearance did them no favours whatsoever, and the heartbreaking manner in which they lost, of course, will have had some effect on them. But you think that'll all be behind them now?
Certainly should be, and that's a relief for the Castleford Tigers. And when you're letting in so many tries, the problem is you just can't get any momentum going. You can't get any sort of pattern in attack, and you start to struggle and do one out, go away from the game plan. But we've got to give a lot of credit also to the Giants' defence. They've been superb.
36-4 here, and Leeds in control against the Salford City Reds. Kevin Sinfield just might make a headline or 2 tonight, because he began the evening at Salford 16 points short of Lewis Jones' all-time record for Leeds, and could be a big headline being made at Salford. Here is Clark, meanwhile, for Castleford, with a headline being made here by the league leaders, and a statement of intent by Huddersfield Giants, it must be said. McGoldrick gets it wide. Ferris, and well, they can attack the Giants, they can also defend in numbers too. That's the last one. Here's McGoldrick, stabs it to the in-goal area. It's picked up with ease by Eden.
Tremendous positional play there by the fullback, Eden. Anticipated the kick. They really are working as a unit, and you could see that when Castleford was playing the ball, the way that the Huddersfield defence, they were talking to each other, you fill in here. They've got great combination, both in defence and attack.
And I really feel that would have been Nathan Brown's message at half-time. I think he wouldn't have been overly concerned about their attack, but as Huddersfield gain a penalty there. But if I can continue on, Eddie, is that okay?
Of course.
I think the important thing from a coaching perspective is the enthusiasm you show in your defence, because they want pride in their performance. And if you defend well, you'll score more points anyway. It's as simple as that. The game will unfold that way and enable you to get that momentum and put more points on the board.
Huddersfield with this penalty as Castleford just try to slow them down a bit if they can. Chan safely out of the sin bin now, of course. Sent there in the first half. Plays the ball to Robinson. Lam Patrick with a run.
The thing I have noticed about the Giants this season as well is the way that the first receiver stands well away from the dummy half position.
Oh, great ball from Brough. Fayumu, the flick pass was knocked down. It'll be a knock on this, surely. Griggs touches down.
He's going to have a look at it.
The incident there.
It ricocheted all over the place. Scott Griggs played to the whistle.
Well, he's shaking his head, is Griggs.
Well, he's not sure, is he? That's okay. A-okay. Was he? How does he?
I think the pass is fine. Look, the pass is brilliant.
Yeah, that's backwards. So that's play on.
That's touched backwards.
Play on.
There's a knock on.
That is a knock on by Lawrence. Was that a big game as well, the second row, Michael Lawrence? This will be chalked off. Confirmation.
I hope we get another chance to just watch the pass from Danny Brough. It was brilliant play out here again. He had two options, Eddie, a short pass or a longer one, and he timed it right to put the first player in the hole. Obviously, they haven't scored from it, but again, their ability to unlock defences by making players pass the ball at the right time to the right man. You know, if you were the coach of an amateur or junior side, you'd love to try and replicate what Huddersfield have done, because so many players get to touch the ball and have some fun.
Joe working hard at marker, making sure Owen didn't have anywhere to go. This is Emmett now. Jake Emmett. Welsh international. He's featured in every game so far. Very solid tonight, Huddersfield. Very good in defence, inventive in attack. Good signs for the Giants. And they're building up the fan base here, aren't they, as well?
Oh, that's ricocheted. Was he in front? Robinson will soon find out, but he can't get there.
Oh, I think that Owen has taken that ball over the line. I think this will be head and feet to the Giants.
There's the fullback slipped. And the pressure from Luke Robinson. Here's the charge down. Good work by Joe Ward. Will turn his back. And you'll see that he takes it over. Watch the foot on the line. That's sufficient. Touch judge saw it quite clearly. Up goes the flag.
Okay.
Well, it was a yellow flag that was being raised, but you get the feeling that it might be Castleford that'll put up the white one eventually.
Okay.
Was there a question mark there about Robinson being in front of the charge down?
Slight, but they didn't look at it.
Here's Fayumu for Huddersfield.
And again, look at Griggs. Look how far he is away. Not the best pass, though, from Robinson on that occasion.
Here's Eden again. Good on his feet, isn't he, for a full-back coming into the line. There's a little stutter in front of the defender. Lawrence and Robinson. Fayumu. With the Devil's own job to try and keep them out here.
Stand out.
Robinson is dummy half again. Goes down that left-hand side. Ferris nearly got.
Oh, look how Castleford are weak. He gets Oriad on that right-hand side.
Oh, that's awful to play the ball. Oh, he's given a penalty to Huddersfield for interference at the play of the ball, and McGoldrick offside anyway.
Well, a touch fortunate there.
Here's Fayumu once more. Takes three to bring him down, but look where Huddersfield are. They're just a metre away from the Tigers line here. Robinson, back it comes to Griggs. Griggs then to Brough, changes the direction of the attack, goes back where it all began. Gets the hands free, thought about the offload, couldn't get rid, wants to stand up. Massey eventually let him. Robinson, Griggs, Brown, wide. Oh, George, there was a fourth begging.
He knows it too. They built it up. And the dummy runner coming through. And the pass was just dipping. Excellent work from Brown to put himself in a position. The dummy runner coming through on the angle. And he knows it just dipped too much.
Okay, Ryan. Close in there.
Now, in case you've not caught up with this, you have to log on to the website www.skysports.com/rugby league and then search for Super League Back Chat. It's the boy here, Steve-O, with Rod Studd and some of our friends in the printed media who talk about all things rugby league. It's available from Tuesdays. I'm slightly disappointed that there hasn't been a full-scale row yet, but I'm sure the pot is brewing and bubbling. Yes, and I'm told actually, Steve, they might have been edited out. Is that the case?
We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure that one day it will explode. But deep down, I like Rod.
It's very difficult not to have an argument with him, that's for sure.
Too true.
Come on. Luke, don't be caught there.
He caused trouble in an empty house, Rod Studd.
No comment.
And that ball is collected by Luke George again. Trying to force him over the line. That's good defence from Castleford. They've shouted that he's been held. They're saying he's over the line, but the call held came a second or two before that. Eden with a bit of work to do. Can they get him over the line? No, they can't. He went to ground.
I've been impressed with Greg Eden, the way that he doesn't mind putting his body on the line. For Besson, himself about a bit.
Ian Millwood won't be able to fault the effort of his players tonight, will he? No, they've just come up a very good side.
And he realises that there are a few problems, and he knows it down that right-hand side. The problem is that who does he send out there? It's very, very difficult.
Well, he's decided Steve Snitch will come on.
You lot outside. 10,
and the
10
four-man
boys.
interchange at one go in the first half. Unusual. I know that coaches do use 4 or 5 changes in the first half out of the 10 that are allowed, but 4 at once, we haven't seen that very often, have we?
No, you don't see it very often at all, Eddie, and it was an unusual change. I don't know whether Ian had planned that during the week or not. He may well have told his players exactly what was going to happen. He may have reacted to the scoreboard. He may have reacted to the lack of possession that the team had. But whatever he did, he's made that decision and made that choice. And it actually, to a certain extent, it worked because Castleford were able to build a bit of pressure with the ball.
Yeah, for 10 minutes they looked good, didn't they?
Hurl 2 feet.
Not only that, their defence was for tight, but you can't just have your defence tight for 10 minutes. It's 80 minutes. Oh, he did well to catch that.
And that was knocked down and backwards by Jermaine McGilvray.
Good work by the winger as well, McGilvray. Put himself in between. No chance that Owen was going to get that.
That's one of the difficulties, I think, isn't it? In this sport, when you're behind by 30 points or more, how do you play? Do you play conservatively, or do you take more risk in the hope of scoring tries and getting yourself back into the game and building some confidence? But by taking more risks, there is the disadvantage that you then drop even further behind and your opponents get more possession and score more points. So it's a two-edged sword, but I think that most teams and most sets of supporters will still like to go for it, take the chances when they're 30 points plus behind.
And I think it's just the opposite, isn't it, for Huddersfield? Their coach Nathan Brown would say, I don't care how many points you score, make sure that they don't score another point. It'll be another slight victory for them. Another great kick, turning them around. Pressure is arriving.
Seen a bit of it tonight, hasn't he, James Clare? It's been a fiery baptism. And then replaces Josh Griffin. He's been knocking on the door for some time, as James Clare.
Just seen Scott Griggs in there, Eddie. Made a couple of tackles. He's just dropping back out of the screen at the moment. Don't forget, he played full-back mainly last year. He's now playing a standoff. He's sometimes he'll be scrum half, but he's in the defensive line now. Last year he may make 2 or 3 tackles total in a match. He's made over 14 so far in this game. He's completely had to change so much of his game and his conditioning for the sport because of the extra defensive work that he now has to do this year.
There's no way through there for Millington. Good work by Kevin Brown.
Yeah, a lot of people said that a bit of negativity about Kevin Brown is that they say his defence is a bit poor. Well, he's certainly improved in that department. There's a knock on. That is good defence. Too much weight on Brett Ferris.
Well, it was Falongo, and he's a big lad.
Yeah, they've outmuscled the opposition as well, haven't they? That's a bit of pressure on the arm, but he didn't bend it. That's the main thing. He pulled his arm away at the right moment. Looking to get away with that.
Here's George again then. Just be the icing on the cake for him if he could get over for that 4th try. It was begging not long ago.
Always picked up a bit of a knock there. Is limping. He's in a lot of trouble, is Luke George.
Go.
To run it off.
Crabtree, Falongo, solid hit by Ryan Hudson.
Come on, boys. Go.
Here's Scott Griggs again.
Great kick. Wonderful.
All onside.
Oh, it'll just go over. But they won't mind that. 36-4, they know the defence is solid, they can hit them up on that 25-metre.
There is some talk, Mike, that the rules might change in this country soon. That a kick that went like that over the dead ball line, and the side starting with possession might start closer to the halfway line, really, to try and maybe penalise kicks that go straight out of the overline play. So we could see in the not too distant future that the restart changing completely from that option.
Well, I think it's been we've left it alone for the last few months, but remember we've talked about kicks like that going back to where the kick was taken, because some of them are aimless, some of the kicks are aimless. That wasn't that one. It might be a change for the better. It'll stop a bit of momentum for the side that's on top, that's for sure.
Well, to be fair, we're not frightened to bring in changes. Remember, there was a couple of years ago, most people said that you should have less points scored from a kick.
Oh, off the head of the defender there.
Play on.
And Griggs has got to get out of jail here if he can, and he can't. That's a great kick from Rangi Chase, to be fair. It spiralled up and then spun backwards, and it hit a Huddersfield Giants man on the top of the head. There it was, the number 19.
Tommy Lee.
It was Tommy Lee, yeah. And
nice header, wasn't it?
well, Huddersfield Town might be after him.
It's an interesting position for Castleford. You know, they've had 8 goal line dropouts so far this season, situations exactly the same as this, and have failed to score a try from any of them. So they've got 6 players in theory here when they get the ball. Teams often rehearse and practice this situation, build up a familiar pattern, may take the ball to the middle for the first couple of runs, then look to shift it with some options, and lots of players running around to distract their opponents. Can they convert this into the first try?
There's the first drive from them. Good race from their own goal line by Huddersfield to deny Emmett any space. This is Millington again.
Oh, he's lost it. That'll be a knock-on.
Yes, it will.
Huddersfield ball.
This gang defence that the Giants have put up, 2 on the top, 1 at the bottom, they don't go for the ball. They try to get a ricochet on the ball carrying arm. I say it often, I say it again, I can't believe that sometimes these professional players carry the ball with a ball carrying arm into the man trying to tackle it.
I think the biggest problem when there's a gang tackle is that there's so much pressure and force on the ball. It inevitably has to come out when someone's put in an awkward position. And it isn't easy to secure that and control it. A lot of the problem, Steve-O, comes from the player with a loose carry or, in fact, his grip. I used to hear Barry McDermott talk a lot over the last couple of years at times when he got the opportunity to talk about the grip on the ball. And very, very often, when the ball comes loose and you examine that, you'll find that the guys aren't gripping the ball properly.
Well, Barry was an expert at that, mainly due to the fact he didn't pass all that often.
Hold, Ryan.
You might have a word to say about that on extra time later on. Here is Bruff. And Cudjoe.
He amazes me, Cudjoe. The way that he can carry this football with one hand.
I was just going to say, some people can carry it loose.
Griggs again, another nice little dab through. Swept up though by Richard Owen.
So, control. And I think that will be the word that Nathan Brown will sum up the performance tonight. They have just controlled it virtually for nearly every minute of this game.
You know, it's difficult when you have a big lead, but I have read in the programme before Nathan Brown and his players talking about trying to develop an 80-minute habit, playing with the same intensity and focus for the duration of the game, whatever the scoreboard says. It's difficult here, but the Castleford side are certainly asking them to make more decisions and more effort in defence in that middle as they've gone forward in this set.
Got it.
As I say, Ian can have a few gripes about the effort that his men have put in tonight. Oh, Luke George nearly dropping it. It was up in the air for a long, long time, that.
Boy, that nearly lost him the man of the match.
It's an early shout, isn't it, with 18 to go? Oh, good stuff. Down the wing they go with McGilvray. He cuts inside. Millington, he has support with Griggs. Will he need him? He's turning Richard Owen inside out. He was a bit greedy then.
He should have passed, and he knows it. He went for glory. And that'll be a never made any attempt to get it back, and they knew it as well.
Can't get a clean play the ball there.
Jonathan Walker knew they were in all sorts of trouble. You can see he went piggyback. Richard Owen made no attempt to go out, and more pressure.
This is Crabtree.
And Luke George out on that left-hand side said, I want it.
Hands out.
They're going that way with Griggs and Brown. And there is Lawrence. Michael Lawrence. Has he got that down? The crowd reaction behind the post say yes.
Yes.
And Ganson agrees. Michael Lawrence, his first try of the season. It's only his second start of 2012. Third time in the second row. He was second row against Saints 2 weeks ago, second row here tonight. Talking before the game about missing out maybe on the try-scoring opportunities. But he managed to get the ball down here and increase the Huddersfield lead.
He's had a big game as Michael Lawrence, both in defence and attack. And Luke George, he went off the field of play, and this was a beautiful run, wasn't it? The winger back on the inside, but he really should have passed. He knew it. McGilvray knew that he had the standoff Scott Griggs there, but it didn't matter. Luke George nowhere to be seen. He's on the bench, but he says go Lawrence in, and he just squeezes it down. This is turning into a rout by the Giants. And talk about problems down that left-hand side, and there it is, confirmation.
And Brough adds the extras. 42 points to 4.
Well, the Giants supporters won't get to see their side player here for the next couple of games. We've got Hull Kingston Rovers and Leeds away. And I guess both of those sides will be aware when they're preparing for that match that they'll have to be strong defending on the right. This is 7 of 8 tries scored on the left-hand side, that far side of the field here tonight. 7 of 8 down that side of the field, Eddie. Amazingly high stat, and I'm sure any team that play against them need to find a way of containing that side of the field.
Yes, they've gone down that side so often. It's been a bit leaky as far as Castleford are concerned. Down to Bill.
Well, the Tigers will be relieved that Luke George isn't on that left-hand side anymore, because he's had to come off. We saw him go down a short time ago with an ankle problem. He carried on for a while, but they've decided really not worth keeping him out there. He's done his job tonight.
Huddersfield have got more of a job to do here. Brown's dancing through them. And that's knocked backwards and picked up by Richard Owen. Well, they stopped the bleeding then, that's for sure.
It's becoming all too easy, isn't it? Much to the delight of the home fans, who are in good voice, and why not? When you rattle up 42 points, you've got plenty to shout about.
Champions have rattled up 48 at Salford, 48-4. Question we need answering, and maybe Graham Beecroft will tell us during extra time, is whether Kevin Sinfield has broken Lewis Jones's all-time point-scoring record for the club.
That is amazing for him as well. Most people thought in rugby league for many, many years, they said it'll never be broken. Records are always there to be broken. Let's hope Sinfield has done it tonight.
Well, he's a very special player, Kevin Sinfield.
Yep. So was Lewis Jones.
Yes.
One. Move. Okay, Ryan. Go on, mate. Go on, yeah, go on.
And McGilvray for Huddersfield.
Getting very difficult now for the Tigers. They know that they really are being stretched against the Huddersfield side, who are enjoying every single second out there. And it's
another penalty.
High shot.
Okay.
Penalty count is going against them as well.
There's a swinging arm there by Snitch, and when you're a tired outfit, sometimes you can't get the balance, get your feet in the right position to make the impact.
Say the penalty count's going against Castleford, only just 7-6 now in Huddersfield's favour.
That's against.
Well, they've had a similar amount of possession in this second half. It's just been the quality, I think, the Huddersfield's ability to make breaks, clinical passes. Here's some width again now. They're shifting it wide to that left-hand side.
And this time Gilmore puts it down.
Catch ball.
Well, have we seen the signs tonight that Huddersfield Giants are going to be the real deal in 2012?
I think so, yes.
Well, I think we've seen enough tonight to know that they can play with the football, that's for sure. Defensively, they've been very, very good, but they haven't been tested enough for me. They've come up with a couple of errors, particularly early in the game, Eddie. In that first 7 or 8 minutes, there was about 3 or 4 turnovers. I just wonder whether one of the bigger sides in the competition may have taken some advantage of that and been able to put Huddersfield under pressure. Would Huddersfield have played the same way against one of the bigger sides? They're the things we don't know until they come up against them. But certainly there's wonderful skill and speed in this team and a great understanding. They back each other's ability.
Yeah, and you can only play what's in front of you, can't you? Come the day they play one of the more fancied teams. And Castleford fans will be furious that we're even dismissing them as not one of the more fancied teams. They will want the place in the playoffs themselves, but the league table doesn't tell a lie at the moment.
Well, last year they dropped down the table, didn't they, as the season went on? I think the only hope this year is that they push up it, maybe make it. What would they need? 13 more wins from the 20 games that are left. It's a tough ask, but they're certainly capable.
It's within them, it is, definitely. Nice chip over the top by Rangi Chase, but very well watched by Eden again.
Took it on the half volley, didn't he? It's a very brave performance by the fullback.
Bradford Saints is the Saturday offering. 5 o'clock, Sky Sports 2 HD 2. 2 HD 2, yeah, that'll do. Anyway, Bradford Saints. Bradford haven't won at home yet, and Saints, well, they haven't won for 4. Here's Crabtree. Good offload. Well watched by Millington. Wrestling Lee to the ground. Griggs spins the pass wide to Brough. He then goes short. And it's Chan. Bustles a couple out of the way. Dixon sticks to his task.
That's been another problem for the Tigers. One in their defence. They've been able to stop the offload as well.
Oh, space here. McGilvery's little kick through is touched. Oh, and Robinson. Well, he's given it as 5, but it can't be. He's given a forward pass now. He said it was still 5, but I'm sure that was touched by a Castleford hand.
Certainly appeared that way.
Yeah, forward pass, last tackle.
He's given it the forward pass. That one. Well, in the end, he gets it down, but it doesn't matter. He's called the forward pass.
Yeah.
Surrender!
But I'm convinced there was a Castleford hand in that, as Robinson used the soccer skills with his back to the opposition line. With a little dribble. Here it is. There, it's touched.
He certainly did appear to touch it, didn't he?
Dixon definitely touched it.
Yep. Another way goes on. We've spoken about quite a few of the Giants players tonight, but obviously the star has got to be the winger Luke George. I must say Kevin Brown has been absolutely superb with his passing game tonight. Big opportunity, and they've blown it.
You know, you're right, Steve. When a team score a lot of points, you tend to remember the try scorers and those who've created them with passes. And I think Earl Crabtree and 1 or 2 of the forwards as well, they've had to defend well enough to prevent the Tigers, whose endeavour cannot be questioned. Earl Crabtree, for me, this season has been one of the standout forwards for the Huddersfield side, and possibly in the league in general. I really think he started this year particularly well, and I know he's been working individually with a psychologist who seems to, he claims, certainly have helped him play to an even higher level in 2012.
They give him the room and the space, and Kevin Brown has the ability and skills to really make you pay. He's done that tonight. He's had a ball down that left-hand side, hasn't he?
Alongo. And Robinson is waiting. And Fayumu pokes his nose through the defensive line. Halted by Emmett. And there's Lee. That's a nice little weighted kick down the line. And was that a knock on over that far side by Clare? Yes, it was.
Yeah. But again, the experience. Let's put the kick through. Yeah. Couldn't handle it. And Clare.
Can't think of a more difficult debut to be given than Huddersfield away on the right wing here when they're in this sort of form. I don't think he's done particularly that badly, James Clare, and I'm sure he'll have plenty more nights and more minutes on the field when he can show us just what he can do when his team have got the ball.
You're right, Phil. It's, you can't just blame him. There's been quite a few culprits out on their right-hand defence.
Hold, goal line, go.
It's a game he will remember. I'm not so sure that
you might want to.
Oh, they've lost it. It's going to be offside anyway.
Scrum, Cassett and feet.
Well, it's just gone, I suppose, understandably, just a little scrappy.
They still want
Huddersfield had it won just after half-time, and Castleford have struggled. Despite the fact that they have kept going and they've maintained their enthusiasm, but it was always an uphill battle for them.
Well, I think Castleford, to their credit, Eddie, they've competed, they've contested. What they haven't done is just build enough pressure. They just haven't built any pressure on the Huddersfield defence. And if you don't do that, it's very, very difficult to come up. I mean, can we remember many plays where they've been down and been on their line, apart from that little spate of penalties in the first half when they eventually scored? Huddersfield have really never had to defend their own line. They've played, of course, Huddersfield have had a lot of energy then to be able to come out anytime they wanted. And when you're scoring points, you never get fatigued.
You're right, Sean. It's you don't get field position, then you're not going to make that scoreboard tick. But the intensity is still there in the Giants' defence, and that would be pleasing Nathan Brown. Everybody knows that the game's well and truly over.
He's a fellow who can do all sorts, and that's Rangi Chase. He did get away and got the ball away, dumped it down. McGoldrick dabs it over the top, and that was very easily picked up by Eden, who's been impressive against his old club here tonight.
Certainly has. Quite a few stars out there. And it is difficult. You know, you get 42 points on the board. You have a tendency to perhaps do a little bit for yourself, become greedy rather than stick to the team tactics.
Falongo for Huddersfield, 5.5 to go. The agony for Castleford will be over then. Can't be easy with a scoreline against you of 42 points to 4.
Difficult it is.
Lee, wide it goes to Lawrence.
But virtually in every department, the kicking game's been better, the play the ball has been better, the defence has been better. And you're not going to run the risk of losing a game when you control everything like that.
You know, John Wells made an interesting point before the game when he talked about belief, and he questioned Castleford's belief going into this game. I want to flip that over and talk about Huddersfield. Do they truly think that they are good enough to win this competition? Now, until they get to a grand final, I wouldn't imagine there is always an element of doubt in a player's mind and the club in general. It's a long time since they've been successful. And we've watched them so many times in the last couple of years where they've been a consistent side in Super League, but have failed to show on the big nights here when the Sky cameras have been pointing at them. Now then, this year's another chance. They've started. Is this, Eddie, the best start to a Super League season?
It is, yes it is.
They've got every opportunity here now to go on with this, and I sincerely hope they do, because they're a great team to watch when they play so well.
Just over halfway on the last for Castleford, this set of 6. And Owen with the kick.
10 metres, boys. 10.
And Eden on the bounce. Can Huddersfield give their supporters here tonight just something else and something extra to remember in the last 4 minutes of the match? Fayumu. It's impressive, really, when you look at the Huddersfield bench. Fayumu was one of the 4. Falongo was another. Larn Patrick and Tommy Lee. And Sean Lunt doesn't even make the 17. They have a tremendous squad here.
At 42-4, you can see that they're lumbering their forwards, make sure they get over the advantage line. Then they get the link working. And talking of link, this fellow that's just picked up the ball there, Scott Griggs. Combination between Griggs and Danny Brough has been outstanding tonight too.
Eden goes to ground. He was hounded down, and it's a knock-on by Eden.
Eddie, I'll just throw another one into the mix there as well. Luke O'Donnell hasn't played this year either. He was one of their big signings from last season, wasn't he?
Almost a forgotten man, isn't he?
Yeah, very much so.
Well, he hopes to be back in the next couple of weeks, and that's ominous, really, because when he did play for them, he was strong, wasn't he? And he will certainly add to the quality that they have out there and the experience when they get to the bigger games. And I think that's when you'll need that.
And it's a long, long season, isn't it? We do emphasise this. I know that they're now a quarter of the Super League season done, but there's the exiles matches to come this year. There's the Challenge Cup, of course, then there's the playoffs, then there's the grand final. Look at that defence.
Wonderful stuff. You know, I'm just going to make that comment that Castleford put down the scrum and every single Huddersfield player was talking to each other. You move, stay here, he's my man, you take him, but just super stuff. The work rate and team spirit is of a high quality.
You often see that, though, when you've got 40 points on the scoreboard, don't you?
Yeah, but they've started right from the kickoff. They've been in control.
Okay. Come on, lads, let's get
They haven't just let off. You know, you'd say, right, 42 forward, let's ease off, let's do a little bit of this, that, and the other. No. They wanted to make sure that they could not defend, that they could not stop them from scoring.
One, move.
Inside the last 2 minutes, Brough to his feet on halfway. Cudjoe. 3 men hunting him down in the yellow of Castleford. Down he goes.
Hold, come on, let him out.
Now, do they have just something special left in the locker, the Huddersfield Giants? Robinson
Third, move.
began the match with a bit of a clunk underneath the chin, did Luke Robinson. Fayumu. Lam Patrick again, solid runner, isn't he?
Move. Go.
Robinson. Brough. Griggs. I just wonder whether Nathan Brown will be a little bit frustrated with the fact that they've got their noses through, they've produced some half chances, and then this sort of thing happens.
I think we're forgetting out with the human beings, and the aim of the game was to win the match. When you've done that, it's very hard, isn't it, to artificially say, listen, we're 1 point behind, let's hold on to possession and score these tries, if possible, take the chances. They've thrown it around, I suppose. They're trying to entertain the supporters, have some fun themselves here, and just really get to the end of the match as Rangi Chase just drifts across field, pushing off 1 or 2 tackles. They've done really well. I mean, at the start of the game, if you'd said to Nathan Brown, we're going to win here this afternoon, we're going to beat the opposition by almost 40 points this evening, you'd say, well, I'm delighted with that, I couldn't have any complaints. The fact that maybe in the last 10 minutes, they've dropped off a little bit with their focus, well...
Not in defence, though.
Not in defence, no. I mean, the Tigers have missed 5 times as many tackles as them. It's an alarming error. And a great credit to Huddersfield that defensively they can switch back on when they lose possession.
Well, it's their best ever start to a Super League campaign. The Giants, that is. As Youngquest cuts inside, flicks the pass to Snitch, he gives it to McGoldrick. McGoldrick then, eventually it finds its way to Green. Green out wide to Brett Ferris, but a forward pass, I think, has been seen by the referee, and he says that will do. So, Ferris gets to his feet somewhat wearily. Final score at Salford, 54-16. Here, it's another big win, 42 points to 4. So 2 blowout scorelines in the Stobart Super League. We don't really want to see that too often during the course of 2012, but it's happened in both games tonight.